Hey NFI, happy Sunday. Dave is back on the channel once again to discuss the concept of time. Old grandfather time, not actually a guy called grandfather time, but the concept of time given metaphorical form in the guise of an old man. Time, the one thing that eventually defeats all things. Wow, this started on a real downer, didn't it? So like most people, I have a weird relationship with time because as you get older, it feels like your life just slips by quicker and quicker. And that's not me trying to sound like, oh man, we're all going to be dead soon. It's more me saying that my birthday was a great time and I absolutely loved it. And I planned so long for it and put so many things in place. And now it's 7 months ago. 7 months ago since I saw some of my favorite people that I met through this medium and others online. And it was a great time. And I'm thinking, where has it gone? Because it doesn't feel like 7 months ago. My friend Nick proposed to his girlfriend and they set a 2-year window to get married. He gets married in October. So where is it going? I've been with my current employers for nearly 10 years. I've been living in this house for nearly 12 years. I've been on YouTube at least 7 years creating content, not just consuming it. It's been over 10 years since I started watching my favorite YouTuber Ashens, who is still my favorite YouTuber, and I've to see his channel develop and grow and really not change that much apart from in quality, but the content has stayed mostly the same, which I'm really pleased about. I've been watching the animated series RWBY from Rooster Teeth for nigh on 7 years because it's just finished its 7th volume. I used to be obsessed with Friends, and Friends finished 15 years ago, I think, and that was 10 seasons, and I grew up with that. I used to be a really big fan of Green Day, and I went to see them live at Manchester Cricket Ground, and that was at least 10 years ago. I went to New Orleans to see WrestleMania 30, one of the best WrestleManias in the entirety of WWE's history. And yeah, it's wrestling, I know a lot of people are interested, but for me, it was a big thing. That was 6 years ago. That's when I first met Connor, who has been on this channel previously. It must be at least 5 years since I first met Carola T in Manchester at a Nerdfighters gathering, and since then we've hung out in all sorts of places, such as my hometown of Hull, her town of Essen in Germany, also Hereford and Sheffield and Scarborough, and Manchester, obviously, it was previously mentioned, and a whole bunch of places on a train. Since meeting with Brendan and becoming friends with Brendan, we've been on trains 4 times, I think, making ridiculous journeys, which have been a hell of a lot of fun, and we intend to do a couple more this year. It was over 10 years ago I sat down and was a bit depressed at the fact that I've never left the country before, and I said I wanted to go to America, but it seemed like a far-off pipe dream, and now, fast forward to 2020, I've been to America 4 times, I think, and I've travelled to other places such as Germany and Amsterdam and Bruges, and while I still have so many other places on my list where I want to travel, such as Canada properly without getting stuck overnight because a flight was missed, it's something I know I can do now as opposed to thinking I can't do, which is something time has helped with. They say time heals all wounds, and now while I don't exactly agree with that, I think time distances yourselves from those wounds. It doesn't necessarily heal them, but it's something that unites everyone in the world, no matter where you're from and how different you are. Someone has experienced tragedy or something negative at some point and then had to move on from that and exist after the fact. Time conceptually is negative, or time conceptually is positive. It depends on how you look at things. As with everything else, it's so subjective. Something we cover every week on Matters of the Mundane, myself and Matt, where we talk about different topics. However, on Matters this week, we went a bit more light-hearted, I guess, and played the Google autofill game, where you put Dave is or Matt does, and then read out what it brings up and laugh at it and possibly elaborate on it if it's something that applies to you. Although most of the ones that I came up with was basically, you have lost this, you had this, you secretly have this. I was like, did I? Link to those videos up there and down there. So time to wrap this video up. Thank you very much for listening to me talk about time for a few minutes and how it's gotten away from me, just like it's gotten away from you listening to me talk about how time's gotten away from me. I guess it's all relative. So I should be back soon with more videos because I've got my name up on the schedule over on NFIcollab.com because Brendan convinced me while we sat on the train to actually sign up for some more videos. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I'll leave for you to decide. All that remains to be said is, hey, have a nice Dave.